Late night with Bobby Tyler Show. Late night with Bobby Tyler Show. Late night with Bobby Tyler Show. Late night Bobby Tyler Show. Late night with Bobby Tyler Show. Late night with Bobby Tyler Show. Late night with Bobby Tyler Show. Filmed in the Napa Valley TV studios. Whoa, yeah. Ha! That's it. Gotcha. Ha! Welcome to the Late Night with Bobby Tyler Show. I am your host, Bobby Tyler. We have a fantastic show for you tonight. We have on stars of the stage and screen, multi-platinum artists as well. And I was going to tell you, so I was at the DMV, right? And I go in for the driven test, and the guy, he tells me, hey, fasten your seatbelt. I was like, are you telling me or are you asking me, right? Then he's like, turn right up here. Do I hear a please? I mean, what's the magic word, right? You know? Then he's like, make a U-turn. I'm gonna make a U-turn blue, strangling you, right? And then later on, he said, you did not pass the driven test, right? And I'm like, ooh, I got news for you. You didn't pass the spoken test. Your etiquette is terrible. I said, get in your car, drive down to the Slauson cutoff, get out of the car, cut off your Slauson, get back in, drive down the 99 freeway, 10 miles, grab your pinking shears, get out of the car, shear off your pinkies, right? Get back in your car, return to the DMV for your physical examination. I'll see if you pass, right? You know, and speaking of cars, I had some tales from the Crips. I was living in an all Crip neighborhood in Southern California, 1987 to 1988, right? At the height of the crack epidemic. It was epidemic. So Kenny Ken, probably not his government name, right? He tells me how to make $20 out of 0 cents, right? He's like, we're at this gas station. He goes up, this white guy in his car, and he goes, hey, I'm almost out of gas, he says, right? And he walks away with $5, right? He don't even have a car. He's like, now it's your turn, right? Oh, okay, so I go up to this black motorist, and I point at my motorcycle, and I say, look, I'm almost out of gas, which was always true, you know? And I walk out with $5, and then Kenny Ken, he's mad, and I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, I don't want you hustling the black folks, and I'm like, I didn't, I was almost out of gas, right? So next day, Kenny Ken and we go to Stater Brothers Market, right? Since I'm the only one with ID, he says he needs me. Okay, so he walks in, he steals 3 cans of salmon, a little can opener, right? A pack of Newports and a lighter, okay? So we go out the parking lot, and I'm like, what's up? He's like, you'll see, as he opens up a can of salmon, right? Lights up a Newport, and he proceeds to tap the ashes right into the middle of the can, right? So he's doing then closes it back up, goes, take these back and return them. You need the ID. So I go in, right, and I'm in there, and I'm like, hey, you know, cashier's like, may I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm returning the salmon. He's like, you have a receipt? No, I go, I didn't buy them. My roommate said, take them back, you know? He said, it looks fine to me. I go, you see that black spot in the middle, right? And he's like, I go, here, smell it. And he's like, no, that's okay, because here's the money. It's $21, $7 a can, right? So we go double up on a 2-0 all day long, which means we buy a big old rock about the size of a sugar cube, right? Cut it in half, sell half for 20, rinse and repeat, like all day long, right? So I think crackheads are the most resourceful people on the planet Earth. You know, crackheads have taught me anything is possible as long as you're ambitious, inspired, and you have a desire. So tonight on the show, you know, a friend of mine, Margaret Kean from here in Napa, she made that movie Big Eyes with Tim Burton, you know. She's not feeling so good, so I hope you feel better, Margaret. And but another friend of mine, you remember Kim and Cricket Carpenter from the movie The Vow, Sony Pictures? Yeah. So I have on Cricket Carpenter, and I also have another friend, he's on Facebook. He is the keyboard player for Parliament, Funkadelic, Danny Bedrosian, you know. So let's get right to the show. Ah, yeah, that's the ticket. And we're back. Maybe I should adjust the camera. I don't know. Yeah. Perfect. So, now I also wanted to tell you real quick about, in 1, 2, and 3, that back, Biden, he's biding his time on that stimulus package. It could be months, right? I mean, this airs in April, and there's still no checks in the mail, right? So, but he didn't bide his time. He went right into war. He moved right into war right away, just like Obama with the peace symbol in his name, remember? So he started bombing Syria the other day with airstrikes. Yeah, so the vice president didn't even know about this, right? She saw it on TV and found out. He didn't ask Congress, which is illegal, but, let's start a war, start bombing. Why wait? And just like Obama was doing, right? And you all thought Trump was going to start a war, right? No, he did not. Nope. Peacetime for 4 years straight, right? So roll the tape. Do we even still use tape in the studio here? I'm not sure, but here's what you thought. World president. Warmonger. Okay, that's about, you blew up the world. That's probably enough of that, guy. Ah, yeah, that's the ticket. 2016. How do you stop this thing? Okay. Anyway, back to the show, right? So, I want to introduce my first guest, Cricket Carpenter from the movie The Vow, Sony Pictures, okay? So, we're going to go ahead and roll that clip. We shot it in the garage a little earlier. I want to tell you, the creator of the movie The Vow, Sony Pictures, Spyglass Entertainment, starring Channing Tatum. You all know The Vow, based on a true story. And my first guest is Cricket Carpenter. Welcome to the show.
Hi there, how are ya?
Great, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you so much.
You bet. So I was going to ask you, how did it feel when Sony Pictures said they want to make this movie, right?
Yeah, it was, our story kind of started to be released a little bit like after about 1994, but it was in 96 when it became really big, and that's when we signed our movie deal and our book deal. So it was, kind of interesting when the media started getting involved in our story, because we just did what we said we would do, stay true to our vow, and that's what we did, but people really grabbed a hold of it.
Right? Yeah, because, you got in a horrific car accident.
Correct.
You had amnesia, and all of a sudden, you didn't remember in the movie, right? You had the...
Right. In the movie, it's the Hollywood version.
It's the Hollywood version. Because
right,
they were,
exactly.
I was calling...
It was inspired by true events.
I'm out here in the recording studio in my garage, and I was calling you like, well, how does Channing Tatum set up his recording studio? To go, he's not in a recording studio. What about the ceramic studio, where you make the clay pottery? No. He's like a baseball coach or something. You were saying they changed everything around.
No, yeah,
for
I
the
was
movie.
the artist in the movie, and I actually was an athlete. And then when I graduated from college, I sold sports apparel, and that's how I met my husband, because he was a baseball coach at New Mexico Highlands University. So, I mean, they took the basic idea of our story. But, the book is the real story, and I'm thankful for the movie because it made our book #1 as well. And, that's the true story, which is a pretty remarkable story.
Speaking of which, you might be doing a new book. Possibly.
I might, because my life has changed a little bit. But I'm excited for the future and excited to see what the Lord's going to do in my life. So, I just kind of take one day at a time and have a positive outlook on life.
That's right. Here in the Napa Valley, there's only like a couple people got the little virus, but they're way up in St. Helena, and they might be sore for 4 days. Maybe they show no symptoms, and then they're over it. It's like not a big deal, It's like we could take all the cars and remove them from the roads for a couple months just because people get in car accidents,
And that's true. I mean, there's so many things that, kills people, but of course we have to take this extremely seriously because it's so contagious.
Precaution.
In the area that I live in, there's like 250 cases in my county.
Oh. Yeah, there's just precautions, and such, right?
Right.
Who are some of the actors in this movie? I mean, I was just going to Skype in Willie Hall from the Blues Brothers movies, but he's about my age, but he's so old he doesn't know how to work his laptop or camera or anything. So I'm like...
Well, I don't know how to do this.
So I skipped that.
I don't know how to do this very well. I'm kind of holding my phone and hoping that this works.
Hey,
but,
I'm just learning. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Camera 1, camera 2.
That's right.
But you can. If you go on the YouTube tutorial, you learn anything, folks. All right. But who are the big actors in this movie, The Vow, by Sony Pictures?
I mean, Rachel McAdams and Channing Tatum were, the stars of the movie. I can't remember. Oh, that's terrible. But, I mean, it was a great movie, and they represented us so well. They nailed it as far as our roles. Mm-hmm.
I finally saw it a few years ago, So, because I remember I met you when Bobby, my baby, was little, and you showed us,
right? And
we were doing the talk show circuit, and news shows and all that, and you told us a little advice on how to do that. And we had Oprah and Bill Cosby. Producers called me on a Thursday, said they want me to fly out on a Friday and do their show, and I said no because I'm a single parent. I had to go to custody court like every month, so I'm like, I'm not going to lose custody for any kind of money, right? So I come back, I tell Oprah, okay, I'll do the show now. No, she got that little 12-year-old girl. Her name was Church. She's a opera singer, and they got her on. And then Cosby's like, well, we're not flying you down. You drive down. I drove down, and then they said no. So kids say the darndest things, But
that's right.
That was probably what Bobby looked like when you
awesome.
when you met him, so many years ago in the Napa Valley, Cali. And I just show it to the other cameras too. But yeah, he's 25 now, so. Or almost 25. Right. Yeah, he's getting bigger,
It's amazing how fast, time goes.
Well,
like what we're dealing with right now, things, this too shall pass.
Well, of course, in about a week probably, but it seemed like a long time for me because as a single parent. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce my second guest on the show. From Parliament Funkadelic, the keyboard player, Danny Bedrosian. We have on a very special guest. We have on Danny Bedrosian. Are you out of Florida now?
Yeah, I'm living in Florida now, yep.
Nice, right? How's your weather?
90, 92, 93 degrees, pretty good.
Cool. It's been raining up here in Northern California for about a week. It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah. And you work with and have worked with George Clinton.
Yep, I'm the keyboardist for George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic and have been for about 18 years now.
Nice, 18 years, man. Yeah, I like that song, Flashlight.
Oh yeah.
My son, he's 25 now, the youngest boy. He hated it because I'd be driving in the car and he's like, they're just guys. I said, well, you got to remember those guys were partying a lot. You know, so it's like,
Oh yeah.
you know, and he's like, they just keep saying flashlight, green light, red light. I go, I know, that's why I like it.
Nice.
But yeah, I love that song. You know, so
Nice.
yeah. So keyboards, that's my favorite. You know, I mean, I played keyboard back in the '70s. You know, and
Cool.
out of all the instruments, that's my favorite one to play. Anyway, you know, so
Oh, nice.
I dig on some Herbie Hancock and you know stuff. You know, right?
Oh yeah.
Inspired me. Who inspired you? Who were your role models and heroes and inspirations and such?
Yeah, well, I come from a long line of piano players. My parents ran a piano school for about 50 years, and they just retired. They're classically trained concert pianists, brilliant concert pianists. And so they played their whole lives, and my sisters and I were all enrolled in the school from age 3 or 4 on. So they were my first mentors and teachers from, you know, the first 18 plus years of my life. I also studied under Bernie Worrell and Jerome Rogers, who were the two mainstay keyboard players for Parliament Funkadelic for oodles of time, and studied pretty heavily under them, and so they were big influences and inspirations on me. And then I really liked, like you said, Herbie Hancock was one I always loved. Chick Corea, I always loved Chick, being from Boston myself, and Chick is from Boston, so like he was an early inspiration on me. And just any keyboard player that was ballsy, you know, that was doing something else, something more than, you know.
Yeah, Chick Corea, yeah. Spyro Gyro.
Oh,
Gyro. Yeah, Chick Corea. Yeah. Herbie Hancock, you know, all these cats, you know, those cats. And yeah, you know, the keyboard players with Parliament, Funkadelic, P-Funk, you know.
Yeah.
I detected a little East Coast accent there, but I was going to say New York, but I was way off. It's Boston.
Yeah, born and raised in New England. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just West Coast over here, but Northern California now, so, you know, back and forth, southern, northern. But we're out of northern. We got Napa Valley TV. Be back in the studio Tuesday, you know, after the quarantine thing. And actually, I'll go in Monday, shoot a music video. No, I'll do some editing Monday, you know.
Oh, cool.
Then I'll be back in the we're on Channel 99 Uverse up in the Bay Area. And then Channel 28 Comcast in the Napa Valley, Calistoga through almost Vallejo, and then live stream worldwide. But I'm going to have you on in about an hour on Pinterest, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 you know. Within about an hour, I'll compress this and upload it to all the, you know. And then when it goes on TV, eventually, it'll also go, so there'll be like 11 different ways you can watch it. You know?
Nice.
Right?
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, how's your quarantine?
Oh, it's crazy, but it's good. I mean, for us musicians, you know, this is kind of like a big change for us, especially live gigging musicians. So what I've done is I've developed a song request line where my fans or friends, family, whomever can send me a donation on my PayPal or on my Cash App, and they can request any song they want, any genre, any era, any artist, and I will perform a customized version of that song for them and send it back to them, you know, video of the song. It's pretty cool. I've got everything from like classical to gospel to jazz, funk, R&B, country, everything. So it's been really cool.
That is pretty cool, man. I was just thinking, you know, everybody's in the studio, you know, but you know, recording right in the booth, right, and stuff.
Doing that too, but it's a good way to kind of give back to the people right away instead of waiting for a project to be finished and mastered. Right. This is something that can go right to the person virtually minutes or hours after they make the request, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
I just got to burn a couple new album covers and LP, and a single.
Yeah.
And didn't get back in the booth and record some more.
Yeah.
I got
that's tough.
I got way too much
Maximize the screen.
crap all going on like that. Now in Florida, I heard there's like, I don't know, this was a few months ago, bunch of people out on the beach and stuff. Is that true, right?
I know. Crazy.
Hey, Southern California,
Crazy,
they
crazy.
started to kind of do that too, but they didn't do it right away. They waited a couple months and then they got crazy and went out surfing and stuff.
Yeah. It's I think it's a little bit more controlled than it was at first, but given the size of the population of this state, it's luckily a little bit more safe in terms of the precautions and the measures that are the guidelines that are put in. Because when you look at Georgia, Georgia has, I think, a smaller population than Florida, and they're doing a lot worse in terms of the death toll and the way things are escalating there. And where I live is real close to the border, so you're really touching on both cultures, the Georgia culture and the Florida culture. And it seems like, Florida's used to it with all the hurricane season. They're used to putting guidelines into place and trying to stick by those guidelines. So hopefully it's the kind of thing where we can maintain and keep going with the lockdowns. I think it's important that we all just kind of stay as safe as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Georgia, they cut them loose a couple weeks ago, and they're like, yeah, go get your hair done, go get your nails done. Yeah, and it's like, mingle, just mingle. It's like,
Yeah.
what are they trying to kill every black man in the area?
I know. It seems like a bad move. I don't know. A lot of people I know a couple restaurateurs up there, and they've decided not to open back up despite the fact that they're allowed to.
I saw
They
that.
decided not to.
Yeah, I saw that on
I
TMZ.
think that's a smart move.
They had that guy, what was his 2 Chainz, and popular rapper, and he was in Atlanta, I think, or Georgia, somewhere. And they said, you can open your restaurant now. And he's like, okay. And he was gonna, and then the next day he goes, nah. Gotta give some food out to the homeless, and that's it. Out of the restaurant, and
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a couple restaurants in Florida where I was really surprised they've opened back up, and even opened up inside, like where you can go and sit down. And
Really?
far be it from me to be a judge about it, I don't really know, but it seems iffy to me. I don't know.
Right. I know. Yeah. We got takeout. Some of the restaurants have opened up here, but it's just takeout. Pickup, delivery,
That was one thing.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's not like a party down.
Yeah, dine in,
Yeah.
Strange.
So yeah, Napa. I don't watch the news because it's all negative anyway, so I really know nothing about any of this. But I think Napa Valley, it's about 100,000 people here. I don't think, maybe 1 or 2 died, but they were probably brought in from other counties, from other counties into our hospitals or something. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Last
All
I
right. I'm gonna cut that interview short for next time. Thank you, Danny Bedrosian of Parliament. And I want to thank Cricket Carpenter from the movie The Vow, Sony Pictures, right? And Margaret Kean here in Napa from the movie Big Eyes with Tim Burton, and I hope you feel better soon. And we're going to wind it on down. And we do have, for the TV studio audience, which we're not having right now because of the epidemic, and we have a new car. You bet you didn't guess that, right? Yeah. So we want to thank our guests, and also we have these beautiful headshots. You can sell these on eBay and make a fortune for all my guests, right? And I want to do thank all you Tylerians out there in TV land, and also we'll show a little clip of all our sponsors. So there's so many. We had to make TV commercials for them, right? So our TV land audience, you're the best. Napa Valley audience, you're the greatest. Be sure to watch Ty in about a couple minutes from now, actually, right? And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Doesn't cost anything, okay? Pretty much follow us on social media, And God bless you and yours. Pretty much we are Space Ghost from the West Coast. Yeah.
Guest of the Late Night with Bobby Tyler show. Stay in touch. Transportation provided by Rolls Royce, Cadillac, Lincoln, and Mercedes-Benz. The Late Night with Bobby Tyler show is brought to you by Auto City on Sosco by the railroad tracks. Audio House right next door. Napa Gold and Silver on Jefferson Street by Burger King, where kids are king. Emmy Lou's Diner right in the River Park Shopping Center. Polish Nails and Spa by John Baju's Knob Hill, not the Snob Hill. Doc's Trophy Shop on Jefferson Street, across from McDonald's. Hair in Motion on Solano, between Lincoln and Pueblo. Sal the Flower Guy next to Napa High on Jefferson Street. Dr. Fraser on Jefferson Street. Follow us on TikTok, you don't stop, at Tyler Mall 2, Tyler MAUL 2. Late Night with Bobby Tyler show was filmed in the Napa Valley TV studios in Napa, California. Oh yeah. Craft services provided by Small World Restaurant, 928 Coon Street in Napa. Mr. Tyler's Hair and Makeup by Hair in Motion on Solano. Mr. Tyler's Wardrobe provided by Yo Mama. Have gall trying to glimpse the chief. They stand tall or crawl to get next to me. I'm tall them all, going down in history. Standing tall, and it's no mystery. I don't fall, the future is just for me. Baby doll, fame and fortune is first, you see. I don't stall, Niagara Falls flows the sea. I'm the baddest damn rapper that there ever could be. Tell them all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell them all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby. Maybe I'll call. Tell them all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell them all, I'm having a ball, leave a message, baby. Maybe I'll call. The T is for tremendous, the why not? The L is for lucky, the E for excellent. The R is for royal, cause that's what I am. So come on everybody and bump this jam. The pecker wood, more wood than woodpeckers. Checking the mic, cause I'm the mic checker. All you party people dress so fine. I'm about to entertain you and blow your mind. Tell them all, and I don't